Welcome to Trade Delicious's Bulls vs Bears, where the investing market meets gladiatorial combat in a battle for all bragging rights. Our contestants will be armed with a hefty $100,000 starting capital, leverage 1 to 10, and be given a single electrifying hour to outtrade each other. Their weapon? Real-time market data. Their battlefield? Designated assets via the hosts. But be careful, traders. A maximum drawdown of $5,000 stands as a pitfall you cannot afford to tumble into. And remember, this is a game of wit and skill, of strategy and performance. There will be no copy trading and no EAs allowed. You must stand your own ground. And to our viewers, you are the arena crowd, watching every strategy unfold live, every decision that has consequences, and every moment bringing these traders closer to victory or defeat. This is not just a trading game. This is Bulls vs Bears. This is the thrill of the financial arena right here on Trade Delicious. Let the games begin.
So perfect, guys. We've got two fantastic traders from the Fivers that are going to go head to head. So here you've got me, Alex from the Fivers, and Jordan, obviously, from Trade Delicious. And we are with Ruben and Saul. Guys, how are you doing today?
We're good. How are you, Alex?
Is that a little bit of a nervous face?
It's like it, eh?
You're only going after Ruben. You said the strategy would be doing exactly the opposite of Ruben. So
yeah. So I got connected like a copy trader software. Is the opposite that Ruben will do. So I'll just bank on him losing money, and I'll end up coming up front.
You're quite in an interesting situation because you're a scalper. So for you, 30 minutes to an hour is enough time to make enough money. But Ruben's a little bit different. Ruben likes to get into positions and hold them. So we'll see what this is going to be an interesting head-to-head. What about you, Ruben? How are you feeling? You feeling confident? And we can't hear you. So, yeah, amazing confidence right there.
Yeah, so no confidence coming out of Ruben's corner. He's just
no confidence.
He's already faking the technical difficulties here to try and get out of it.
He's trying to get out of it already. Well, look, boys, we've got obviously a couple more minutes until London Open. So let's start with Saul. Start having a look at the charts, what you're looking at. You can pick any pair on Forex. You can pick any kind of pair that you wanted to trade, and once you're ready, we can start trading. Obviously, the market isn't open yet, so if you want to get in before market, that is totally up to you. But yeah, what are you looking at? So tell us what you're looking at, and tell us how you're looking at trading this next hour.
I haven't scanned all the assets, but in terms of a Forex, and later on I'll jump into maybe one of the indices or gold or something like that. But in terms of Forex, I think I'll go with dollar franc.
So we're only sticking with Forex, by the way. So if we're sticking only with one type of asset, so it's going to be currencies today. So only Forex.
Okay, so no indices and no metals.
No indices, no metals.
In that case, I think I'll go with dollar franc, at least at first, but I will keep scanning other currency pairs to see if there's any opportunity. Yep. Yesterday there was I believe it was the CPI in the US came out lower than expected, and we see the meltdown in the US dollar against other currencies, and the very strong one, an important movement has been against the franc. You can see we're like close to historical levels, historical lows, and the lines I've got marked are just the next key levels, and we're right now trading between those key levels I have marked from the past. So we've broken that one. That was a strong demand. We've broken through. So I believe we have room to go all the way to the next demand area, which is down here. So that gives me a bias to go short on this pair. Then I'll go into lower timeframes and I'll start to build positions to the downside. That would be like my plan.
Something that I just want to jump in here. because I've noticed Mr. Silent in the corner has just started firing away positions without any warning. Look at this. He's not messing around. He is well and truly in the zone trading in silence.
Guys, I think
this is a typical Ruben Ruben strategy though. I've watched Ruben trade and he's going for the trend. This is literally Ruben's setup right in front of me. I've seen him do this so many different times. So this I know at least I know that he's going with something that he's used to doing. You know, this is his strategy. So he's not just firing off blanks.
Yeah, I kept you guys talking. I was just thinking about what I can do here. Basically, the fact is I'm going long euro yen and going selling euro dollar, meaning I can actually manage my portfolio a little bit better. Let's say if the euro starting to fire up in one side, so probably I will start to win on the other symbols. So first of all, I'm here well diversified, and secondly, I'm all the time. If you know, guys, know about how I'm trading, but I'm looking for a big movement in one side, like in the euro yen M5 going down. Let's say M1 going down very drastically. Stochastics below 20 starting to grow. So I'm just find the accurate spot to go, and I will continue to manage this one. So let's see how it works out.
Yeah, I love the way that every time I can see how you trade, this is the euro yen position you've got is like the perfect setup for you.
Yeah, and you guys see like
I don't know what you're doing on the euro USD, but but the euro yen, I definitely understand why you're going for that one.
Yeah, I mean the euro USD was also to diversify a little bit the portfolio, meaning if the euro will jump up, so euro yen will also jump up a little bit. But here in the euro USD, we have also quite a strong area, and in the London session generally, the market can bring a little back down. So that's what I'm doing here.
Yep. And Charles, you're just there staying patient. You're just waiting to. Are you waiting to after London Open?
No, I started already. As soon as I saw Ruben start trading, so I got my first.
The opposite. Yeah.
I got my first setup, which was looking at this pullback towards this little supply area, and I started shorting from there. So I stacked.
You're already out.
Like seven trades. They all took profit, so I'm $200 up. Now I need to wait for the next setup, and I'll keep it.
That was very quick. In and out $200. That's some people make that in a whole day, and you've just done that in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, sorry, I mean, we're trading a large account, so $200 is not that much. But yeah, the key, of course, we're doing like this battle, and we're attempting to make as much money as possible. But this is what we can do day in, day out. And once we get to these large accounts, we can, don't take a lot of risk in order to make a really nice income. So that's the beauty of just following your process.
It's so interesting. So many opportunities already. We're only 5 minutes into the challenge and you guys are pulling triggers left and center. And what's really fascinating to watch as well is you can see as Alex and I begin talking, everyone watching at home, have a look at the cameras on the left. Look at the concentration on these two guys as we progress here. There's just in the zone, pure focus.
It's bragging rights, it's bragging rights in the office. It's like, top Ruben, head of risk management, Saul, general manager, and the head analyst. It's bragging rights, and Ruben looks in the zone. So
he does. Ruben, run us through what you're having to look for at the moment. What you're obviously in a little bit of a hole there. What you're planning to get out of it?
Yeah, I closed the euro yen position already, like $250 PNL, and the euro USD is a little bit battling. So here I just had another 2 lots. Expecting the market to go a little bit down from here. The market just opened right now, so I'm expecting, the market to go down. I will try to close some of the position. I'm already overexposed here, so I close just some of the trade. We'll see how it turn around.
So, Alex, can you go through the rules we have to follow? Is there any rule which, of course, we're attempting to make the most profit, but is there any loss limit or something like that we need to be aware of?
Look, you've got a 5% max loss. So if you lose 5%, then obviously the account is going to be closed. 5%. And the profits, there you go. It's whatever you want to do. Obviously, the rules, you've got to trade the same kind of assets. So if we're trading gold or we're trading metals, then you've got to stick on metals. If it's going to be indices, then you've got to pick an indice.
Okay.
But we're trading currencies today.
So today we're trading currencies. We should not. We cannot lose more than 5% of the account, so 5K.
I'd be worried if you lose more than 5% in an hour, Charles.
I'll try not to. So I got another little trade. So
I love watching scalpers, man. Scalpers.
Yeah, so I'm already. So it pulled back again to a new resistance area. I sell again, and I bank profit. So I'm $300 now. I'm just adding up slowly. It's just
the way slowly putting that pressure on Ruben. That's the way he's getting himself out of the hole.
How many trades do you reckon, Charles, that you could take like in a normal day of day trading? Scalping.
Yeah, it is a bit tricky because inside one setup you can be stacking a lot of trades, and of course in Forex you get like each entry, it's a different trade. Kind of, it's not like a netting account on stocks or other accounts. So it makes it tricky. So you can find yourself with hundreds of these little entries in a day, depending on the account. But as a setup, it's all within the same setup. It's just how small you cut your lot size into small entries to give you more flexibility.
As such a smaller time frame trader, and especially as frequent as you are, do you find you get a big distraction or push in equity curve from your commissions? Obviously, commissions and spreads are going to eat your account a little bit more as you're trading larger position sizes to capitalize on these smaller moves. Do you see them have a massive effect in your equity curve?
Yeah, spread not so much. Especially, when you're trading with the 5 or something like that, the spread is on major pairs is close to 0. So that's not that much. The commissions they do. I mean, if we go to the history,
it's $4 a round trip.
Let me bring that.
Is that per lot?
Yeah. So that's I'm trading full lots. That's $4 per lot. So I'm giving up here, already $40 from my total P&L. So commissions they do add up, but I take that into account when I enter into a position.
Yeah, and now swinging over to you, Ruben. What's been happening? How's this position going? Obviously, it's flipped once again. Are you feeling the pressure a little bit here?
Yeah, do you already break the high of the Asian session? But we are very close. So again. The stop loss is not so far, so I will exiting the position if it go against me here. So we will see. I'm also opening another position in the pound yen. Basically, just break out and retest and continue the trend, which you see many. Okay, stop loss already taken $1 So I will leave the second one here. Total PNL minus 200 actually overall.
When it comes down to trading two assets at once, like you're doing, and two uncorrelated assets as well, do you hesitate when it comes to adding more positions and obviously being more exposed to multiple assets at the same time in such a small time frame that we're trading now?
Yeah. This is what I did just before the first position was going long in Euro Yen and going short in Euro USD. I mean, of course, I don't want to buy Euro USD, buy Pound USD, and buy all the, selling the dollar currency in 3 or 4 different pairs. So of course that makes sense. But here I'm, Pound Yen and Euro USD are 2 different symbols, so I'm fine.
Awesome.
I'm looking at all the pairs as well, and they do look. We've had a lot of volatility, especially yesterday, obviously with the CPI coming in and everybody reacting to that. And I think pound dollar and all the dollar pairs just shot up. It's
a good day to be doing
guys. Yeah. And obviously the market is literally just open. 6 minutes on market open. It seems like an amazing amount of time. You know, Saul in 6 minutes can be in 3 or 4 different trades. You know, and he's already out and he's made a few like $100. Ruben could be losing a few $100 in 6 minutes by the looks of it.
No, the banter's getting in there. Well, Sal, what are you having a look at? You're scanning a couple charts here. I can see you pushing back.
I'm trying to see around, because I'm trying to see. Yeah, this is what I was looking for.
What's the range on that? What's how many pips was that from yesterday, Saul?
The price is going overextended to the downside, so I need to wait for a pullback in order. Let me show you that. So I need to wait for a pullback in order to short again. So I was trying to start building into long positions, but I just don't see any level in order to hold that and give me the the pullback I would be looking if I would go long. So that would be a risky movement with a not as good reward. So I think the best thing is to wait for the pullback to come and then to short again. But that means I'm just waiting and sitting in my hands while waiting for something to line up to happen. So I'll wait on that for a pullback, and then pound dollar, I see there's starting to pick up some momentum. So I'll wait for pullbacks and I'll start to go long. What's going on the Euro USD? No, I like the pound better. Dollar CAD is also melting down, so the same. I could wait. All these little areas right here, these little nice supply areas, are great opportunities to wait for pullbacks towards those areas and then short. And I know how Ruben trades, and he usually waits for these overextensions and then tries to buy. So I wouldn't be surprised if that pullback happens to see him above, making even more money to have what I've done right now, because I just very active and he waits for larger movements. 100%. So I think we'll have a
fight.
Yeah, a good session.
I got a question for both. This question's for both of you here, but we'll start with you, Saul. In such a close to the end of the week here, obviously last night we had the CPI data for the US come in hot, and you've seen the movement in the chart. Tonight we've got the PPI data, which is expected to generate just as much movement. Do you find yourself taking a step back in these conditions usually? Do you still look to execute your positions as per usual, even though these events are happening around the same times that you're trading? What's your process to trade around these market events?
So usually around the high impact news, I don't tend to trade, because all the levels I'm keen on to hold for the setups I'm looking for, they tend to be just invalidated. So I don't trade around the news. After the news or before the news, you tend to have like a quieter session. So I'm happy, just scalping that, inside the range. After the news, we tend to have these movements, very volatile, and if there's like a trend initiating, so I try to ride the trend. But just around the news, I tend to stick, to stay out of the market.
And what about with you, Ruben? Is it the same for you?
Yeah, I'm not changing any of my mindset before any news. I mean, I'm not trading in the news, which makes sense for me, because I'm generally waiting for the movement, the big movement to get down, and then after execute the position. So of course, I generally will be flat if I want to have a day trade during the news. But what is important for me is what's going to be after the news, meaning like 5-10 minutes after all the market react. If you have a large drop, so I will be looking for some buyers to come in the market and go with them. So yeah, this is basically, but I'm not changing my mindset. I mean, all the time it will be the same.
I'm just looking at crypto, to be honest. I was like, okay, so dollar index is dollar at the moment. I'm not going to swear on the channel, but it's going down a nice little bit. But crypto isn't really doing anything, and I love trading crypto, and it's just static pretty much, you know. And
do you see a big I don't touch crypto, right? Do you see a big correlation? Do you see a big correlation in volatility of when it comes in the other markets? Does it also hit crypto, or is it kind of just acting on its own?
If we were looking about 12 months ago, yeah, you would obviously see the correlation between the S&P. There were different correlations between Bitcoin and the S&P, or Bitcoin and gold at one point. And they kind of moved very similar. At the moment, I think because of all like different regulations and different policies, or, you know, different black swan events, crypto is not really following too much of what everything at Bitcoin maybe is. Obviously Bitcoin at the moment is on a nice little uptrend, but the altcoins are not really following suit. The altcoins are pretty much static and in their own little range, and when Bitcoin crashes 1% or goes down 1%, you see, you know, altcoins go down 10%. So it's a bit of cat and mouse with altcoins and Bitcoin. If you want for the long term, I know a lot of traders that the only things they trade is Bitcoin and Ethereum, but altcoins as well, there's a lot of volatility. So if you do get some good moves on there, then they can be fantastic for profits.
Is it? Do you get much seasonality in cryptocurrencies? I know it's kind of a niche thing to look into, right? And a lot of the time, seasonality mostly comes into commodity markets, but you can sometimes see that transition into other markets like the S&P 500. The old saying, "Sell in May and go away," for example. Do you see similar things come through in crypto?
I think there is a couple of months in the year that historically have been good for crypto, and historically have been slow for crypto. Would I say that I look at them? Not really. Obviously, you know, trading as a discretionary technical trader, I don't really look at those things. I just see if price hits my level, am I going to get in at that level? If it doesn't, then I'm not going to get in, so on and so forth. But it's just interesting, you know, the S&P and everything, and the American stocks are all going up, and then crypto is lagging behind a little bit. But
so I can see you executing positions once again on US dollar Swiss franc here. Can you run us through what you're doing and what you're having a look at?
Yeah, exactly the same process. We had this little movement. I just placed one trade, and as we had this deeper pullback towards that resistance area, I started shorting. I need to be careful because at any point, especially on the 5-minute chart, we could see a reversal. So I need to be careful not getting trapped on that, stuck on that reversal. If there's like a V shape or something like that, I need to be well balanced with it, with my lot size. But nothing has changed. I don't see, you know, signs of this reversing or forming like a divergence or something like that. So I'm still confident trading to the short side, unless I start seeing, you know, higher lows and signs of reverse. But until that happens, I'll keep shorting.
In this case, let's say if we go back to the 5-minute, where on that 5-minute would you say, okay, I'm wrong on this trade, I need to get out? What would you need to see for you just to close out all your positions?
Yeah, it really depends on the price action. And, you know, the fact that this 5-minute chart is so overextended, I need to be prepared for a pullback, because this can't go just black, 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 black all the way. So this pullback has to be natural. But if these start forming strong, like these candles, but to the upside, like strong bullish candles, and it starts breaking all these levels on the, you know, these little supply areas, just penetrating them, then I need to be okay. I'm on the something is changing. But if this starts going slowly to the upside, like without a lot of strength, so I will be preparing for the next movement to the downside. So I'll be good. So it's not only where, but only how the price approaches that area.
Yeah, I can see, and I've been watching as Alex and I have been discussing as well, that you're averaging your position. I can see as it's moving against you, you've gotten into a little bit more, and you're bringing those take profits a little bit closer to averaging where that profit would be.
Correct.
In the event you get that strong push to the upside, which you don't want to see, is that a oh no panic stations? Are you looking to hedge? Is it just a straight cut? What would be your plan of action?
Yeah, so I guess depends, and we might see it live, but I might take some of the positions out. I might take some losses,
average down the loss a little bit.
Yeah, average down the loss, and I'm not overexposed right now. I'm not with a lot of positions, so I have room to keep adding into this same setup. So for this setup, I guess as long as we're below this area.
I was looking at the exact same area.
That would be my last area. I mean, yeah, I have this one here, but that's too far. But for this setup, where I started very, very low, that would be like my final area. If we start breaking strongly that area, I will take the loss. And sometimes with the style of trading I do, if you suffer one of those losses, where there's nothing to it, just take the loss. Those losses tend to be sometimes higher, like larger than the wins you make. So that's why you have to be, when you attempt to scalp like I do, you really need to hone that skill of consistency, because you want to have more setups and more days profitable than the losing one, because the losing ones sometimes tend to be large. So you want to try to avoid them.
You must be very decisive as well with you as a personality as well, because somebody that is indecisive, trying to look at that and they're like, oh, should I get out now or should I stay in? Maybe it's going to turn back. That 30 seconds of them thinking maybe the difference between something just pumping up and then being stuck in the position because emotionally now it's hard for them to close it, so they hold on to it and then it ends up blowing the account, which is what I see with a lot of like newer traders. So do you reckon you've honed in on that skill of being decisive, or is that just you naturally over the years of trading?
I have it's a good comment, and I have developed that decision making skill because you as you mentioned, you need to be very decisive. And you notice I don't have like a hard stop loss, but I do know where my levels are and where do I need to start peeling off my position. The fact with my personality, I'm happy that I know very fast if I'm right or wrong. So the movements happen. I'm looking for small wins and hopefully also small losses. So pretty much like pretty fast, pretty quick, I understand if I'm in the right side, on the wrong side, and I need to react to that, which is just for me, it's great because I'm very impatient. I don't have that ability to sit down and wait days and days that the trade to evolve. So this is just good for my personality.
Very good.
And
sorry, Karen.
Yeah, sorry guys. I'll hide my levels, okay? Because this is something I take into account. I keep reading price constantly. Okay, so that was a good opportunity for the market to turn and continue down, and now it's forming a pivot and continuing up. So that's like a sign to me, the market saying, okay, be careful, I might continue now. So this is a good chance to peel out some of the trades if I was overexposed. I'm not, so I'm not running to do that. But if I was overexposed, that would be okay. That was a signal of the market didn't turn down as expected. Now it's pivoting and going upwards. So I need to take that into account.
Very good. We're going to swing over here and Ruben, check in with you. How's everything going on this side? You've got 3 charts on your screen now.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to manage like a 1% drawdown. I'm actually looking again for the pound, and I'm very aggressive on the pound yen right now. The fact is that I see the pound dollar with a big uptrend. I mean, here again, for me, when I look at the 30 minutes or H1 chart, it's for me overextended already, which I mean, I will for sure not buy the pound dollar, but I will try to find some selling opportunity. Looking at the M5, again, we are at the top of Bollinger Bands, stochastics above 80. So, I just opened a very small lot here for the pound to like be able to continue monitoring the pound yen. Again, here the pound is going on my side. which means I'm selling. I'm actually buying. Sorry, I'm selling the pound here. Again, the yen is actually a little bit strong today, so that's why the sorry, a little bit weak as well. So that's why I don't see a drop already in the pound yen. But again, I'm feeling comfortable with the pound dollar to continue to go back down a little bit. Maybe here you can find some struggle to break below. But if the market continue and will touch, you see I put like the middle line, which is for me the average, which I believe the market can actually go here. We're going to see the pound yen starting to go down from here, and I will start by taking some profit. So I know this is quite overexposed here, but I'm believing in generally the type of pressure I need to handle all the time. I see a trend that goes against me. I need to manage the drawdown, and at some point I will need to exit if the market continue to push up against me. So yeah, I will be monitoring. I just need to be patient here. I don't think I will be opening another position because I'm already using quite a large volume here.
It's quite a difficult thing to get somebody to go in against somebody else with not really much notice and going through obviously analysis and checking, to do that straight off the bat and just jump into trades. Quite a difficult thing. Especially
that's
when
why I'm
everybody,
commentating it and not being.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when it's like it's a bit of a competition, you know, because everybody obviously very competitive and everybody wants to make the most, but it's also how you deal with. I've seen you in huge drawdowns, so I know how good your discipline and how good your emotional strength is as well. So this is kind of minor to you, but the only thing is those bragging rights in the office, it means quite a lot, you know. So it's quite a hard thing to do, especially but in the open as well. It's still quite volatile. So before sometimes you actually even see the proper move of where the market actually goes, sometimes it can take around about an hour after the market actually opens, you know. And sometimes within that hour there's a lot of little bit of movement here, choppiness, and then obviously you get your direction. So I'm not surprised why you're in a little bit of drawdown now, but I wouldn't be surprised now all of the positions towards the end of the day start going in and start hitting take profit, because I've seen that many times with you. So
yeah, actually we are meanwhile talking, but the market is starting to flip. We need to see if it's continue. We see the pound dollar just like having a large retracement, which is the type of movement I would be waiting also for the pound yen. Pound dollar, you see like the retracement that we had in M5 was quite amazing. We make a new high, taking the stop loss of all the people, going down exactly to the min. So this was the movement I was waiting for the pound dollar. And now I'm waiting for the pound yen. I was underling a large drawdown. You see the market going down right now. Stochastics above 80, crossing Bollinger Bands above. So I think I will be waiting. And here, the next mission for me would be to manage to take some profit time after time. So that would be the most difficult things right now after I'm already in position.
So it's interesting. You both seem to be taking the averaging approach here when scalping, right? You're kind of moving that. It's not your fixed, this is my position, this is my take profit, this is my stop loss. It's very reactive, which I'm a firm believer you have to be in the way that I've always traded. I don't know how you guys trade as well, but it is very interesting to see you both taking very much a similar approach while looking for different setups on different assets. You're kind of doing the same thing.
Yep.
Again, for myself, I don't believe we will never know where would be the high price and what would be the low price. So you need to 90% of the time be able to manage different entry. I think this is the best option to do when you scalp, or even when you want to open like swing trade or day trade. You never know when will be the top. You never know when will be the bottom. And that's the best approach. I think regarding the techniques, I may be like less skilled than Saul, because he's doing that like 1 minute scalping every single time. So I'm trying to get the techniques of what I'm doing on day trade or swing and apply it in a scalping. Sometimes it can work, and sometimes it goes against me. But yeah, I agree with that approach. Going like partial is the best one.
Interesting.
Let's have a look at Saul.
Yeah,
there you go, buddy. Pressure's on.
Yeah, so it's happening.
It's flipped. Those smiles have disappeared.
No, so what we discussed as an option to happen is actually happening. Okay, we had that turn in the market, and now approaching that area when I want to be active. Doesn't mean, off the dailies, the bias is still there to the downside. On the hourlies, it's still there. On the 5-minute chart, the setup is still there, okay? Because we haven't broken that area, we haven't broken those highs. But now I need to really manage size now. So I'm changing now from a making money mindset to a fixing this trade mindset. Okay.
So now risk mitigation kind of mindset.
Yeah, risk mitigation. Now I've seen this so many times. So sometimes it really can be stressful, but after sometimes you know how to manage yourself during these situations. So now I need to just be reactive to what happens. If these long candles keep forming and just going up and up and up, and I'll need to either flip my position or close the trade and take the loss. And if I see a reaction of this area, I'll take it as an opportunity to average the lower position and reduce the loss.
I'm actually really excited to see that this is, and this is going to be horrible to say, but let me finish before you pick up this. I'm happy to see that this position has gone against you here, because what I find really interesting is we've literally just spoke about what if situations when we hit that last resort. What we're seeing now is your mindset change and get into that mode of, okay, risk aversion. All right, we've hit that spot. How do I get out of this now, rather than let's take the profits? And it's just interesting. I think you can learn so much more when people get stuck in these positions, or when it's all about risk management, rather than if this was running off to the moon and making a load of money, you'd be sitting here smiling and it'd be no worries. Whereas this, we can pick a lot from what you're trying to do.
I agree. Now,
but
sorry,
Alex, carry on, man.
A good exercise to do every time is to hide your entry levels. And if I were just opening this chart from scratch, what would I be doing? Okay, so I get my bias from the dailies, then I look for more details on the hourlies. I go to my lowest time frame, maybe the 5-minute chart. I mark these key areas, key levels, and if I were just opening the chart, I would be all short. This is a good area to short, guys. If you like Fibonacci's, pretty much the 50% area. So this is a great selling area. The only thing is now I have my lower positions that I need to fix at this moment. Now I'm at the selling area, but I don't like the fact that we are getting momentum within the area. So instead of slowing down, we're actually getting into that area in a very strong way. So I'll wait for a little bit more confirmation here to stack a larger position.
So some people say, the fast move is the wrong move, or when it slowly creeps into a level, that means it's about to break out. Loads of people have different ways of looking at how price gets to a certain area. Do you have an idea of what you want to see with price and how it moves to get into an area? I know you said the big long candles are not what you want to see, whereas if I see fast candles going into like a break and retest level, I would prefer a fast candle going in there instead of short candles just slowly getting up to that level. So it's quite interesting to see the difference. What do you like to see?
Yeah, I think the break and retest would be a different setup. What I was looking here was a retracement towards that selling area. Now, if price had approached like this, like compressing, that would be a weak movement towards a strong selling area, and then the buyers, the sellers, could easily turn it around down to the downside. Now, the fact that it got to that area in a strong way with strong candles, now we'll need to see what happens around this area and to see who eventually wins the battle. If the sellers will sell or they will give up, and the buyers will take this market to the next selling area, which is all the way up there. So now I need to be, I want to read price action. I want to see what happens inside this area, and to find a little bit of confirmation to sell heavier in this area.
Just to put the pressure on there, guys, 10 minutes left of trading. So get those positions sorted. This is where we're going to see the hands start to tremble a little bit, as we want to make sure at that 10-minute mark, you must close all open positions, regardless of where they are or where you can see them going. All right. So keep that in mind. There's 10 minutes of trading left.
Okay.
I feel of course it's difficult.
Tough.
It's not supposed to be easy.
Yeah, it is tough. Absolutely, it's difficult. That's why you guys are doing it and not us.
Yeah, because
that's why.
I agree. We're trying to like frame the market to do something that it's not supposed to do, but it's fine.
Yeah.
That's why I think for Ruben it's actually quite a lot harder. The reason why I say that is because you're taking your method of position swing trading and doing that on a 1 minute chart in 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Saul, this is his bread and butter. This is what he does on all the time. So it's interesting to see how you're coping with it. But
yeah, I think maybe my approach should be different. I should all go like M1 blind and walk with my strategy, meaning I will not wait for a big breakout like I'm waiting here. Here it's if the market flip down, the overall day of the pound yen will be different, and this is what I'm expecting here. The market is behaving the way I want to see it. Again, I'm not sure if the market will break it in the next 15 minutes, but I just need to wait right now. I don't want to add anything to into this position. I will just exit some of the trades. So let's see.
So about 10 minutes ago, you are down the hole about $1,000. You were in the floating P&L of around about minus 1,000. And now you see the position slowly coming back towards you, and now you're in profit $120. So for you, it takes a little bit of time for the position to the trade to actually breathe. That's why it is quite a challenge. Doing something like this is a big test.
Of course, you cannot achieve high profits without having drawdown. You cannot your P&L seeing directly into the blue. I don't know if you have a color for the P&L, but it's quite difficult to say, okay, my risk reward here was 1 to 30. It's almost impossible. So of course you need to manage your drawdown, and you must have one in order to achieve high profits. I can't imagine someone entering the main accurate point every single time. Here today, I needed to handle a little bit drawdown. Sometimes it's go quite quickly into the zone I want. Today, I had to sell the market after it goes against me time after time.
Yep.
I commend the effort from both of you, because confining a trading time into 45 minutes and challenging each other to who can draw the best money is
that's what makes this. I reckon that's what makes this show. This is what makes this show quite interesting.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm actually quite interested in seeing from other people as well, because it's a lot of pressure.
And I think you guys will speak for this as well, right? Obviously, you're aware that your system, you're going to wait for what, usually in trading, you're going to wait for what you want to see, and you're only going to execute in the way that you really want to. Whereas in this simulation, you're going to be pushing a little bit harder. But I think you've also noticed the pressure you feel a little bit more, right? The nerve's not what I want to go with, but you can see that you feel kind of the emotional side of trading just that little bit more as you're being a little bit more erratic than what you'd usually be. Am I right in assuming that?
I think so. Yeah, I think this type of face-to-face you show that this is not the real face of trading. You are not trading.
Yeah.
Basically, you're trading against the market, but at the end of the day, it's you against yourself. I think here, I think the what I learned is that just be patient. You don't need to rush.
Didn't you get into a position after 30 seconds?
yeah, before we even...
Mr. Patience.
Building the position is different. Building the position is different. But yeah, I agree. You know, I jumped into the market, and of course, you don't open like 10 lots. It's also showing it's difficult to achieve like a high like PNL in like 30 minutes. It's very difficult. Like I see some people like having I did like 3% in a scalp in 10 minutes. Of course, it can happen one time, but if you want to do it like day after day, it will not be sustainable for you. So again,
if you're risking 3% on a position,
this is just giving me this lesson actually that you cannot achieve high PNL without like waiting, any patience. We will see.
Unless you take absolutely ridiculous risk, but absolutely ridiculous risk can work for a very short period of time. Once you have a big loss, that's when that revenge trading comes in. And I don't care how experienced you are, revenge trading can always creep in to your trading style and can really damage your P&L. And I've seen it with traders that are in the top levels in our firm, and I've seen it with the beginners. There's not much of a difference between the mental state of these traders. It's just that one trader has developed a way of mitigating that, and another one, you know, lets themselves loose. But it does happen to absolutely everyone.
I'm going to get really interesting here as we push in, because I've just noticed down the bottom there that Ruben has officially ticked back into green and he's in the money. I'm going to transition over to Saul here. How are you looking on this side? Because we've got 3 minutes on the clock and this is going to be tight.
Yeah, it's gonna be tight. If we will need to close the trades, I am right now on the water. I'm waiting for the movement to the downside to happen. So,
but it's happening now as well. It's
but if I need to close everything right now, I'm in the red numbers.
We've got 3 minutes. We've got 3 minutes.
This is going quite well for me, guys. The market is just dropping the way I want. And I'm starting to close a little bit.
All of a sudden, Ruben's got a voice. He was quiet for the first 20 minutes, but
in all fairness, in 3 minutes, that position that Saul's got, you know, could if it starts breaking down, then we can see him still take it. But we'll see. I don't know. Ruben's taking over. Look, that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
Nice comeback, huh?
If I was looking for a day trade, I would be waiting for the market to at least, you know, touch back this huge rectangle. Goes back to here, would be like this probably will my TP on the day, because we need to close the trade. So I will only be looking like this type of resistance here, which for me like makes sense, you know, was resistance breaking out. We make a retest like during the Asian session, and I'm believing the market can go back, touching this demand and then making a U-turn. So that's why I will not be looking for the market breaking this one in the next few minutes. That's why I already exiting some position here.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. The way you're reacting, the way you've done your market analysis prior to the trade, and then seeing you guys play it out is so entertaining to watch, right? Because you're thinking out loud. And while you can fall into a hole of analysis paralysis, you've both done really well to still explain exactly what you're thinking and then act on what you said you were going to do as well, and bring that to fruition. So it's so interesting to watch live.
Mm-hmm. Oh gosh, as if we're going to end in a couple of minutes, and it's right at the place where Saul is. This can just turn and just, you know, take down another leg down to the bottom, you know.
Yeah. He's going to be making some calls here. It looks like he's loaded up in a couple of positions.
Sell.
What I can do actually here is just edging and like opening 10 lots like you short in dollar Swiss to get the win. I mean, if I want to be like strategy, I can do that, you know. But
no, do that. You got one more minute, you know.
I don't know.
You got 50 seconds on the clock here.
It would be better for you, Ruben, just to relax. You know, you've got your win with this one.
Yeah, you got your win. If this doesn't break down, then
what a twist that would be right at the end, eh?
Oh, 30 seconds. If we got to finish on 30 seconds, right on the point where we can actually see that it could be breaking down. Oh yeah, God!
There is 20
you want to push it just 20 seconds, really? Oh God, that's such a shame.
Yeah.
Because this
I'm
is right
out
on a
of
supply
the
area as
Ponyan
well.
position. I'm just
I'm
out
going
of
to
the
count
Ponyan.
down from 5, guys, and I want you to close all positions at the end of that countdown. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I think close
Left it open.
That's
Close them all up, Saul. Come on.
I will.
Go on. Damn.
There
And
we
watch,
go.
watch it start.
All
Watch it start breaking down right now.
Oh yeah, we'll keep it on the screen as we have a look here. It's just going to absolutely drop. It's setting up for a pretty nice drop, actually.
Break of that would be the setup. But it's fine. I mean,
how was that, guys? Because that's a difficult kind of exercise. I think a different kind of perspective, a way of trading. Very challenging. How was it?
No, I mean it's fun, but you can't do real trading, with these time limit rules, right? I mean, the market will give you, it will take.
Look at it dropping now, Saul.
Is it really?
Like believe that you make a pop film challenge and you. It's getting down right now.
Yeah, that's horrid. Hey, I tell you what, we were going to do 60 minutes. Sal's the one that wanted to do 45.
Yeah. No, but that's a great example of, you can time the market, right? Like the market's going to take whatever it's going to take, and that's the moment you're waiting for, but you don't know how long it's going to.
I love the contrast though of how it started. How Ruben was in massive draw, because that would have taken all of those take profits right there. That little spike would have taken all of your take profits, and you would have beaten Ruben in this case. But the contrast for how Ruben started off, went into big drawdowns, lost to 30 minutes, then he's gone into break even, then into profits, and the opposite happened with you, and then that is trading. Even though we say it's not trading, that is trading in a whole. You go into drawdowns, you go into profits, you have to mitigate risk, you have to manage trades, manage your emotions, you get distracted a lot. Your girlfriend comes in trying to give you it's difficult. You've got a lot of stuff that's going on, So fair play to you guys. And Ruben, you were the champion today.
No way.
The winner.
No.
We should get like a little emoji crown or something that we can put on your head.
Yeah, we need to. We'll get it up there. But now, congratulations, Ruben. Well done. Good work. And to both of you, commend the effort, because what we've just asked of you is not an easy task, and it's not something you're in massive control of either. So you put yourself out there. You've given a red hot crack, and we appreciate it. And it was a real joy to be a part of and to watch.
Great, guys. Ruben, do you want to give any last words since you are the champion?
The main lesson I get is, like Saul said, we cannot know the exact timing of the market. I think that's the main lesson we can get. Of course, it's like you give a prop film challenge and you offer 30 minutes time limit. You imagine how the people will get stressed and they cannot wait that the position turned for them. So I think that's the main lesson. It's I think at the end it's just a matter of a little bit chance and timing. If Saul was waiting a few more minutes, market will go in his side. So trading is not that it's only for entertaining and to show how we manage the position and build the position. Again, according to my PNL, I know it's only 0.25% profit, which is very small. And I was enjoyed on 1%. So in my case, is this a nice trading day for me? I don't know. I was underling 1% drawdown, and at the end the profit was 0.25. So again, this is a real lesson. That again, this is not real trading. Of course, we do that to show you how we manage the position and how we think and how we trade. But that's the main lesson, I think.
Where can people find you if they're trying to find out where they can buy your course?
I don't have any.
What about your Twitter tag? You got to give your
Twitter for free. We have trading room at the Fivers, and Saul will do that as well. And sometimes I go with Jordan and Delicious. So if you guys want to show us trading live, 1 time, 2 times a week, join us on the Fivers trading room and also Trade Delicious.
There you go. That's what I was looking for. Hey. All right. Thank you very much, guys. It was a pleasure, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.